Welcome to Stoic Mindset, a place where men learn to master their emotions, walk in silence, and live with calm strength. There comes a moment in every man's life when the illusion breaks. He realizes that all along, it wasn't the woman who held the power, it was his need for her approval that kept him weak. The truth is simple, yet most men spend their whole lives avoiding it. The one who needs less always holds more power. When you stop needing validation, affection, or constant reassurance, you stop being controlled. It's not about becoming cold, it's about becoming centered. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." And when a man finally understands this, no one, not even the woman he loves, can disturb his peace. Most men mistake emotional detachment for indifference. But detachment doesn't mean you stop feeling, it means you stop depending. You can love her deeply and still walk away calmly if she disrespects your peace. You can care and still say no. That's real strength, not silence born from ego, but silence born from understanding. A detached man isn't numb, he's aware. He sees her beauty, her flaws, her emotions, and chooses not to lose himself in them. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Freedom begins when your emotions serve you, not when they control you. Every man, at some point, wants to be chosen by a woman, to be seen, desired, appreciated. But that's where most men fall into emotional slavery. When you make her validation your oxygen, you give her the power to suffocate you. When you chase her attention, you place her above your purpose. The paradox is this: the moment you stop trying to be chosen, you become the man who naturally is. She's drawn not to the one who pleads for her attention, but to the one whose presence commands it. You don't earn love by begging. You attract it by being at peace with losing it. Control isn't about dominance, it's about centeredness. A man who can remain calm in chaos controls the situation not through words, but through energy. When she shouts, tests, or withdraws, and you remain unmoved, she feels something she doesn't understand. Respect mixed with curiosity, because calmness is rare, and rarity is power. She can influence a man who reacts, but she cannot move a man who observes. When you stop reacting to every emotional wave, you become the ocean itself, deep, vast, unshaken. Silence is not emptiness, it's communication without noise. When you go silent, you give her space to face her own reflection. Most people fear silence because it exposes truth. A man who uses silence wisely doesn't punish, he teaches. He lets absence speak. He lets stillness show value. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your silence is not withdrawal, it's mastery. It says, "I will not explain my worth to those who cannot see it." When a man learns emotional discipline, the dynamic shifts instantly. She senses it. She feels that her words no longer shake him, her moods no longer steer him. And that's when respect replaces control. A woman can't control a man who's anchored in himself. She might test him, she might challenge him, but deep down, she admires him, because that's what feminine energy seeks. A grounded masculine presence that doesn't crumble. The more centered you become, the more chaos loses its grip. Power isn't about loudness, it's about stability. The greatest lesson a man can learn is when to walk away, not out of anger, but out of self. When you no longer fear losing her, she loses her control over you, because the one who can walk away always holds the strength. Walking away doesn't mean you stopped caring, it means you stopped sacrificing your peace for temporary comfort. Every time you choose dignity over desperation, you rebuild your masculine core. And ironically, that's when she begins to chase, not because she lost you, but because she finally saw your value clearly. Power is not found in control over others, but in mastery over yourself. You control nothing outside you, not her emotions, not her decisions, but you always control your response. When you stop reacting, you shift from being a pawn to being the observer of the game. Most men lose themselves because they confuse control with chaos. But true control is quiet. It's in the pause before the reaction. It's in the choice to stay still when your ego wants to shout. That's the moment when a man becomes untouchable. Many women play emotional games, not out of malice, but to test the depth of a man's strength. It's not about manipulation, it's about instinct. But once you realize this, you no longer fear it. You see the pattern, you stop fighting it, and start understanding it. You realize that the moment you engage in the game, you've already lost, because presence beats reaction. Stillness beats strategy. A wise man doesn't play games. He ends them by refusing to join. The man who builds his world around a woman will lose both himself and her. But the man who builds his world around purpose will naturally attract those who align with it. Your mission must always come first, because purpose gives direction, and direction gives you value beyond anyone's approval. She will respect the man who prioritizes his path, not the one who abandons it for her attention. When you live for something greater than attraction, you rise above control. The man on purpose doesn't chase pleasure, he builds legacy. When you no longer react to her emotional storms, she begins to see something she can't quite name: peace. She's used to men who argue, plead, or explain. But when you respond with calm understanding, she feels both safe and challenged. It's not about outsmarting her. It's about outgrowing the need to prove yourself. Your calmness will confuse her at first, maybe even frustrate her. But over time, it earns the only thing that truly matters: respect. When men realize this truth, they stop chasing control outside and start mastering it within. You don't need her validation. You don't need her approval. You don't need her attention, because you've found something far greater yourself. The day you realize your emotions are yours to govern, you become free. Free from need. Free from manipulation. Free from fear. That's when women can no longer control you, because you no longer seek control. You simply are. Your stillness becomes your strength. Your silence becomes your language. Your peace becomes your power. And in that moment, you become the man every woman respects, not because you tried to be, but because you chose to be. Thank you for watching Stoic Mindset. If this message spoke to you, remember, strength isn't found in control over others. It's found in control over yourself. Walk in silence, lead with calm, and never forget, a man who controls his emotions cannot be controlled by anyone. Subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, and as always, stay grounded, stay unshaken, stay free.